feel like the new school is diverse, but if I have to say Eugene Lang, the picture is kind of different because there are certain, like divisions of the new school that are way more diverse than others. And I don't think Eugene Lang can be one of, the most diverse right
Why
now.
not?
Well, because first it's quite small, and it's just not. I mean, diversity in terms of social status, yes, I can see that. But in terms of ethnicity or race, at least I have not noticed like big diversity.
Right. So, did you take the survey? You did, right? That
Yeah.
we passed out? When you saw the word diversity, what like first came to mind? Like, what do you think the definition of diversity is?
Hmm. It can be defined in very different ways because diversity is in everything. Diversity in personalities, diversity in ethnicity, diversity in, I don't know, just everything can be diverse. But of course, I feel like today when someone says diversity, it is almost exclusively always about ethnicity or race. People always relate them to diversity, as if that's the only way you can be different with someone, which is not a really good thing, you know, because it means that this is the only way you can be different from somebody else, and it's not the only
Right.
way.
Yeah. So, what about in class? Do you feel like issues of diversity get addressed in the classroom?
People take them for granted, and people feel like we are way over that thing about diversity, and we are kind of so used to it that, but the fact that we're used to it doesn't mean that we deal with it. We're used to it and we just pass by it, and we feel like by just accepting it we deal with it, but it doesn't work that way. I don't know whether the school can do something about it. It's more about society. I think that once you come to college, you already have those established ideas that you're interested in or you're not interested in. And I'm not sure whether the college can actually change that in you, but I understand the part that if there is diversity, you will be affected by it and it will immediately increase your interest because that's the only way you can get interested, by touching something. And if you encounter diversity, you will get more interested and you will see that the issues that we take for granted as if they're already solved, when you face the difficulties in communicating, then you will know that there is so much more to learn than what you just take for.
So you think that it would be more helpful for the university to be more diverse than necessarily to like
Yeah.
to change their curriculum, maybe. Do you think that
I think first it starts with life. It's not somebody telling you to do something. First, it is you see something, just apart from school even. Just you hang out outside of school with someone, and this person is completely different from you, and it strikes your interest, and you will contribute to class. And it's like a chain thing. First, it happens outside of class, and then you bring it to class. And I think the role of the school should be nurturing the interest rather than creating the interest,
definitely?
because you can you can't really create the interest in class. I've had classes we've talked about race and, yeah, mostly race actually, but and I've seen professors trying really hard to make students interested, but if they're not, they're not. And we also have this kind of thing that we don't really want people to tell us what we should be concerned about, and that's how students accept it also. They're like, oh, I'm so sick of diversity, I'm so sick of race, I'm so sick of gender, just because colleges make such a huge emphasis on them. I define it as access to resources. Some people apparently have more access to resources than other people, but I think the reason kind of people don't want to talk about class also is that when you start talking about class, you usually attack the higher classes and try to protect the lower classes. I mean, if you talk about it, that's how you talk usually. You're kind of like, yeah, equality, and this is kind of seen as a socialist thing, and it's very scary. Don't mess with class. Things should stay like the way they are. And the other thing is people don't talk about class because they say that, and also believe that in our society there is movement, like you can rise and you can fall easily, but at the same time they kind of disregard the the limitations to that movement that people have.
Mm-hmm.
So class issues are still very relevant, although people have the opportunity to succeed, kind of the American Greek. Diversity in any sense is important, but there are some diversity types that are more vulnerable, I would say, because the issues surrounding them are, they're not more important in themselves, but maybe they're more complex. Because some of them, uh, people still feel very afraid to face, and they just ignore, while others are, easy to talk about because people are not that afraid of them anymore. But it doesn't mean they're less important. It's just the complexity.
What would you say would be the more vulnerable types of diversity?
I do think that race is one of them. I can't say that it is like the most important type, but it does come with a lot of other issues, and I think race is the main reason for political correctness. So people are so touchy around it, and at some point you come to realize that you can't really talk about it because you will be misunderstood, and everything you say might be misinterpreted. So it just shows how close the subject still is. The political correctness is just like the greatest symbol for it, I think. I have to say that, you know, before I came here, they were always lecturing me about the cultural shock. And I did feel it slightly, but I came here because I was really open to learn about the new culture. And that's why I didn't have that much difficulties. But when I see people who are more closed to accepting, or just not wanting to make the effort, because it is some kind of an effort to understand another person. So it is all about, being open or closed. It's a choice, I think.